A firestorm is tearing through the hills northwest of Reno, Nevada, and as of this morning, August 24th, it is still 0% contained. The Hawk Fire has now been mapped at more than 15,000 acres, specifically 15,039.9 acres, according to the National Interagency Fire Center. Approximately 90,000 people across the Reno area are currently under evacuation orders or evacuation warnings. Here is everything you need to know about this fire, exactly where it stands right now, and what today's conditions mean for the communities still in its path. Welcome to the channel of the Light of Jesus. Before we go any further, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss what happens next in this story. Now let's begin. How it started. The Hawk Fire was first reported at approximately 11:25 a.m. on Saturday, August 22nd, near Hawk Meadow Trail in the Somersett area of northwest Reno, specifically about 1 mile north of Cold Creek Trail. It ignited on U.S. Forest Service land inside the Humboldt-Toyabe National Forest, on rugged, steep terrain along the flanks of Peavine Peak. The cause has been confirmed as human-caused, though officials have not released further details about the specific ignition source. Within the first 30 minutes, the fire was estimated at 30 to 40 acres, and it was already flagged as having high potential for rapid spread. That warning proved accurate almost immediately. By 3 p.m. Saturday, the fire had grown to roughly 2,500 acres. By 7:30 p.m., it had passed 8,000 acres. By late Saturday night, it was mapped at 10,522 acres. By Sunday afternoon, it reached approximately 13,000 acres. And by this morning, Monday, August 24th, official mapping puts it at just over 15,000 acres. That is roughly 15,000 acres gained in under 48 hours, and at every stage of that growth, containment has remained at 0%. The weather behind the explosion. 3 factors drove this fire's growth: wind, humidity, and fuel. And on Saturday, all 3 were at their worst. The National Weather Service issued a red flag warning for much of northern Nevada, in effect from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. on August 22nd. Relative humidity values across Washoe County dropped as low as 12%. Southwest winds were sustained at 15 to 25 miles per hour, with gusts reaching up to 40 miles per hour. That combination of low humidity and strong, gusty wind is the textbook criteria for a red flag warning, conditions under which a fire can outgrow a response before crews even arrive. Truckee Meadows Fire Chief Richard Edwards summarized it directly. The Hawk Fire is a very dynamic incident for us. It is being driven by the winds. Those winds pushed the fire northeast throughout Saturday, moving it toward North Virginia Street between Seneca Drive and Copperfield Drive, directly into populated neighborhoods. The most significant turning point came Saturday night, when the fire jumped U.S. Route 395 at Peppermint Drive. When a fire crosses a major highway like that, it typically means embers are being lofted hundreds of yards ahead of the main fire front by wind, a phenomenon known as spotting. It's considered one of the most dangerous fire behaviors because it defeats containment lines before crews can even build them. Meteorologists monitoring the incident also noted that overnight humidity did not recover the way it normally would. In a typical fire weather pattern, humidity climbs back into the 30 to 50% range overnight, giving crews their best window to build containment lines. That recovery did not happen. Temperatures stayed elevated, winds did not fully calm, and the fire kept moving through the night instead of settling down. Evacuation orders and zones. Nevada Governor Joe Lombardo declared a state of emergency for Washoe County, directing all state agencies to coordinate through the Nevada Emergency Operations Center. The Washoe County Sheriff's Office issued Level 3 Go Now evacuation orders across multiple neighborhoods, meaning residents were told to leave immediately without waiting. Mandatory evacuation zones have included Somersett Peak, South Mountain, Sierra Canyon, the Peavine Back area, and the broader Somersett community north of Somersett Parkway, with additional Go Now orders extended to areas between 7th Street and McCarran Boulevard. Level 2 Get Set evacuation warnings, meaning be prepared to leave on short notice, have covered Golden Valley, Lemon Valley, Stead, White Hills, and Panther Valley. Evacuation warnings have also crossed the state line into Sierra County, California, affecting zones in Long Valley south of Highway 70. At its peak, roughly 42,000 residents were placed under mandatory evacuation orders, with the Go Now zone reaching the edge of the University of Nevada, Reno campus. An additional 45,000 people were placed under evacuation warnings. Combined, that brings the total number of residents affected to approximately 90,000. Roughly 14,000 structures have been reported under evacuation orders. University officials have confirmed the main UNR campus itself is not currently inside an evacuation or get-ready zone, though leadership continues to monitor the situation closely. Rancho San Rafael Regional Park has also been closed, and officials say they are closely monitoring conditions in the event the Washoe County Jail needs to be evacuated as well. Road closures. U.S. Route 395, the region's main north-south corridor, has been closed in both directions between Parr Boulevard and Red Rock Road. Northbound traffic is being stopped at Parr Boulevard, and northbound on-ramps between Parr Boulevard and Bordertown are closed. Southbound off-ramps between Red Rock Road and Parr Boulevard are also closed, meaning drivers must stay on the highway until reaching Reno proper. Nevada State Police are on scene directing traffic, and residents evacuating from north of Red Rock Road have been told to travel north out of the area on 395. Power and infrastructure. NV Energy made the decision to de-energize transmission lines in the fire zone as a safety measure to prevent power infrastructure from acting as an ignition source or fire corridor.
Aren't we special?
As a result, tens of thousands of NV Energy customers in Washoe County have lost power, with some reports putting the number as high as 59,000 customers, while earlier updates placed it near 41,000 and later near 10,000, reflecting how the outage has fluctuated as the fire has moved and crews have worked to restore service where it's safe to do so. The outage also cascaded into Northern California. Roughly 37,000 customers across the Truckee and North Lake Tahoe region lost power overnight, including approximately 15,000 Truckee-Donner Public Utility District customers and about 22,000 Liberty Utilities customers in Glenshire and Loyalton. The emergency room at North Valleys, an extension of Northern Nevada Medical Center, temporarily closed due to the evacuation order. Officials have asked that anyone inside the evacuation zone experiencing a medical emergency call 911 directly, and dispatchers will redirect them to an appropriate facility. Reno police have specifically asked residents not to call 911 simply to report the fire or request general information, since those calls tie up dispatch lines needed for genuine emergencies. Reno Stead Airport has been closed to general aviation, though it remains open to firefighting and military aircraft. Operations at Reno Tahoe International Airport have not been affected. The firefighting response. Nearly 1,000 firefighters and first responders have been assigned to the incident, up from roughly 400 in the fire's earliest hours and roughly 800 by Sunday. Truckee Meadows Fire and Rescue is leading the response, supported by the Reno Fire Department, the U.S. Forest Service, the Bureau of Land Management, and the Nevada National Guard. The Nevada National Guard has deployed a CH-47 Chinook and a UH-60 Black Hawk helicopter to support aerial firefighting, along with 60 response force personnel assisting local law enforcement in securing evacuated neighborhoods. Air tankers and helicopters have been working the fire, with large air tankers refilling retardant at nearby airport operations that have continued around the clock. Incident Command has also requested resources be diverted from the bug fire, a separate blaze that was more than 80% contained, to reinforce the Hawk fire response, and additional engines, dozers, and hand crews have been requested from CAL FIRE in California to supplement crews already on scene. According to fire officials, the current focus of operations is preserving life and protecting communities, road corridors, and utility infrastructure, not yet a full structure-by-structure defense in every area. Officials have confirmed that some structures have already burned, though a complete damage survey has not yet been possible, in part because conditions in several areas remain too dangerous for assessment teams to safely enter. At least 6 people have been injured, 3 civilians and 3 first responders. No fatalities have been reported as of this update. Why Nevada is so vulnerable right now. This fire isn't happening in isolation. Every area of Nevada is currently classified as at least abnormally dry, and much of the state remains in active drought conditions, with above-average temperatures expected to persist through the end of August. One major factor driving the size and speed of fires across the Great Basin is invasive cheatgrass, a non-native, highly flammable grass that has spread across millions of acres of Nevada rangeland. It grows quickly, dries out early in the season, and burns easily, effectively extending the fire season and creating a near-continuous layer of fine fuel that lets fires like the Hawk Fire move with extraordinary speed. Other fires are also burning across the state, stretching resources thin. The Mouse Meadow Fire in Nye County has burned approximately 52,000 acres and is roughly 80% contained. The Stallion Fire, also in Washoe County, has burned about 40,000 acres and is around 81% contained. The Quail Springs Fire in Lincoln County sits at 13,600 acres and 95% contained. The Ward Fire in White Pine County is 96% contained. Those numbers are encouraging on their own, but they underscore why the Hawk Fire, brand new, explosive, and at 0% containment in the most densely populated part of the region, represents the most urgent concern right now. Nationally, nearly 29,000 firefighting personnel are currently deployed across the western United States, with more than a dozen fires this season having burned over 100,000 acres each. Shelters and resources. The Reno Sparks Convention Center, Hall 4, at 4590 South Virginia Street, has become the primary evacuation shelter, operated by the American Red Cross of Northern Nevada. On the first night alone, roughly 465 people slept inside, with an additional couple hundred sheltering in cars and RVs in the parking lot. Pets have been welcomed at the site. The Evelyn Mount Northeast Community Center at 1301 Valley Road, the original shelter location, reached capacity early on and is directing new evacuees to the convention center instead. Residents with large animals, horses, goats, livestock, have been directed to the Ironwood Event Center at 5600 Whiskey Springs Road for large animal evacuation support. For those who cannot access an evacuation shelter, several downtown Reno hotel casinos, including Silver Legacy, El Dorado, and Circus Circus, have offered emergency rate rooms. For real-time evacuation zone updates, officials are directing residents to the Watch Duty app and Perimeter Map, noting that both platforms have, at times, gone hours without updates overnight, a reminder to keep checking rather than relying on a single check-in. Air quality. For anyone in the Reno-Sparks metro area, the Sierra Nevada foothills, or the Lake Tahoe Basin, smoke impacts are significant, with smoke continuing to push down valley from the fire. Residents are advised to check local air quality index readings before heading outdoors, and sensitive groups, children, older adults, and anyone with respiratory conditions are urged to limit outdoor exposure while the fire remains active. Those not under evacuation orders but near the affected area are advised to keep windows closed, run HVAC systems on recirculate, and keep a go bag ready in case conditions change. What to watch going forward? Fire officials say the critical window for fire behavior each day tends to fall in the afternoon hours, when heat, low humidity, and wind combine at their peak. Dry conditions and low humidity are expected to continue in the Reno area, though winds have shown signs of weakening and shifting to the south, which forecasters say could push more smoke into the Reno metro area even as the immediate fire threat evolves. With no significant rain in the forecast and temperatures expected to remain elevated, officials have cautioned that the fire's perimeter remains highly unstable, and new spot fires, new runs, and new evacuation orders remain a real possibility. As of this morning, the Hawk Fire remains at 0% containment. Hundreds of firefighters are still on the line. Evacuation orders remain active across northwest Reno and the surrounding communities. And for the roughly 90,000 residents inside the warning and evacuation zones, the situation continues to develop by the hour. If you are in or near any of the affected areas and receive an evacuation order, please act immediately. Do not wait to see if conditions worsen, because with a wind-driven fire like this one, they can change with very little notice. To the firefighters, National Guard members, and emergency personnel working in the smoke on the steep terrain of Peavine Mountain right now, thank you for what you are doing. And to everyone in Reno, Verdi, Somersett, and the surrounding communities, your safety is the only thing that matters right now. Please follow all evacuation orders and rely only on official sources for updates. This is a developing story, and every number in this video reflects the most recent confirmed information available as of this morning, August 24th. Fire behavior can shift within a matter of hours, especially with a wind-driven incident like this one. So residents inside or near the affected zones should treat official channels, the Washoe County Sheriff's Office, Truckee Meadows Fire and Rescue, Watch Duty, and Perimeter Map as their primary source of truth, rather than secondhand reports or social media rumors. If you have family, friends, or coworkers in the Reno, Verdi, or Somersett area, take a moment to check in with them directly, since phone lines and cell towers in fire-affected zones can become unreliable during major incidents like this one. If you found this coverage helpful, please like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We'll have updates for you as soon as conditions change. Stay safe out there.